What's up guys, in this video I'm going to show you how to color correct and color grade your DLog-M footage that you shot with the DJI Mini 4 Pro. Now just because I'm showing you how to color correct and color grade the DLog-M footage from the DJI Mini 4 Pro, that doesn't mean it's different for the DLog-M on the Air 3 or the DLog-M on the Mavic 3 Pro. It's the same color profile, so you can use the same technique there as well. And when you're filming in the DLog-M color profile, you have 10-bit color. What this means is that you have way more color gradients to push. So sometimes when you're filming in 8-bit and you try to push colors, you'll notice some banding in certain areas. That's because there's not as much color gradients present there as it is in 10-bit color. 10-bit color gives you more color gradients to play with and push your colors further. Another advantage of filming in DLog-M is that you retain more information in your highlights, midtones, and shadows as well. And having a flat color profile gives you the ability to give it a stylized look. So you are in control of the colors. You give it that type of look that you want to achieve. This is another benefit of shooting in DLog-M. So let's say you shot some footage in DLog-M on your Mini 4 Pro and you shot some DLog-M footage on your DJI Action 4. You can now use the same color profile to build your grade upon and match them so they look pretty much similar in terms of your color grading. I use Final Cut Pro to edit my videos, but that doesn't mean that you have to get it as well. You can use Adobe's Premiere Pro or any other editing apps that have the same tools. DLog-M is more flat compared to the decent-like profile. Okay, so I have my clip that I want to color correct and color grade, and my choice of app is Final Cut Pro. So this is what I'm gonna do first. So I have my waveforms open. Sorry about that. I have my waveforms open here. Now, as you can see, this is pretty flat and there's no color in it. There's not much information, just looks pretty flat and dull, but that's gonna change very soon. So I have my Luma waveform open here. You can change this and choose the RGB overlay. You can choose whichever you want. You can select different ones for different reasons. Now, I'm not going to get into that in detail right now. This is just a basic color correction and color grading video. So I'm just going to keep it basic. So this is the Luma form, the top 100 and below 0. So what you want to do is make sure that the highlights don't go above 100. That means there's no information there, and you want to make sure that these shadows don't come below 0. That means you've lost information in the shadows, and whatever's in between is the midtones. So there's a few ways to color correct it at first. So one way is to do your basic color correction, which is to come into your color wheels. Now, other apps like Adobe's Premiere Pro also have this, so it's pretty much the same. So at first what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the shadows down here close to 100. I don't want to bring it down below 0 because you see then it looks like that. It looks way too contrasty. So I'm just going to bring the shadows down, touching or close to 0. And I'm going to pull the highlights a bit. Wait, I'm going to pull the highlights higher. Now I want to bring the midtones up as well a little bit. So if you see the before and after, look at this: before, after, before, after. Now look, it looks much better. It has some contrast in it. And the next thing you want to do is add some saturation. Now this is subjective, so it's up to you if you want to add a lot of saturation. I generally don't add too much saturation. I only bring out some colors that I want to make it pop. So I'm going to increase the saturation here and see the difference it makes. So I'm just going to leave it somewhere around here. Now if you go way too much, it's going to look way too saturated, and you really don't want that. So I'm just going to leave it somewhere here. This looks nice. So a quick before, after, before, after. So now you have your color correction done. Now in Final Cut Pro and other apps, you can make minor tweaks, minor adjustments, such as, increasing or decreasing your exposure, depending on the type of look you want to go for, or, add some contrast. So these are like, minute adjustments you can make here. Some saturation, black point, you want to add more contrast, you decrease the black point, so you bring the darks down more. So yeah, you can make some pretty minor adjustments here, and it looks good. Now I want to adjust the temperature, even though the temperature looks, so the next thing I want to do is adjust the temperature. Now, because it was during golden hour and the sun was out, I want to give it a more warm feel. So I'm just going to bring the temperature higher. Now, this is a clip that you can grade. So before, after, before, after. Now that our clip has been color corrected, the next step is to grade it. So you can always add a LUT, a stylized LUT from some of your favorite creators, and you can adjust the intensity, or you can do one yourself. Now I'm just going to show you something really basic here, and like a few ways that you can use to do this. So I want to add some teal in the highlights. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this toward the teals a little more, and you see there's some teals there in the highlights, and I want to bring the shadows, I want to bring warmth in the shadows, so I'm just going to pull this more to that side. Now I want to add a little bit of green to give it that sort of cinematic look, so I'm just going to pull the mid-tones a little toward the green. That's the kind of look I'm going for. So before, after. Something else you can do is come to the hue saturation curves. Now this is pretty much like the HSL in Lightroom. So use the pick dropper and let's say I want to change the greens here. So if I pull it down, it's going to turn more green. If I pull it up, it's going to have this more warmth look. So I'm just going to give it a little more of that rusty orange look. Now I want to reduce the saturation of this orange. I don't want there to be too much. So if you want to increase that, bring it up more. But I want to bring it down just a little bit. Now I can also make this brighter. I can make this darker. But I think I will make this just a little bit brighter. There you go. So there's your before, after, before, after. So that's it. This is how you can try to grade your DLog-M footage from your Mini 4 Pro. Now I'm going to show you the other ways where you can use the LUT to color correct and color grade your footage. The first thing I'm going to do is add the custom LUT to my clip. I'm going to choose the DLog-M Vivid or DLog-M Plus, which adds more contrast. So these ones are from Gamut. Now I use them because I like them. You don't have to use them, and I'm not affiliated with Gamut and they're not sponsoring this video in any way, but I like to use their base LUTs and their other creative LUTs, such as some creative LUTs from Sam Newton. He's one of my favorite content creators, so I like using his LUTs. So over here you can choose DLog-M and you have a corrected footage. So you see the before, after, before, after. Now obviously you can add adjustments over here where you can add more saturation, and then you need to fix the contrast. So if you wanted to, let's say you wanted it to look more vivid, you choose vivid, and there you see you have more vivid colors. And if you want something that adds more contrast, then you choose DLog-M Plus, which adds a more contrasty look to your footage. So I think I'll go with this one, and what I'm gonna do is head to color wheels and just adjust the exposure a little bit. I'm gonna bring the shadows down, highlights up slightly, midtones a little bit, maybe a little bit of saturation. I think that should be good. So I'm just gonna pull this and put it right at the top. So this is how you color correct your DLog-M footage using a base LUT. And if you're using, let's say, D-Log from your Mavic 3 Pro, DJI has its own conversion LUT. And if you're using a mirrorless camera, let's say Canon, and you're filming in C-Log, Canon has your own Rec 709 conversion LUTs. So now I'm going to color grade my color corrected footage using a stylized LUT. So I'm going to use the immersion LUTs from Sam Newton, and I think I will go with Solar Burn. Now you look at this, it's very intense. So you can always adjust the intensity to how much you want. I think somewhere around 70% is good. Here's the before and after, before, after. Now you can choose different LUTs. There's a lot of LUTs you can choose from. There's, you know, different looks that you can go for. This is a different one, and you can adjust the intensity. You can make it very strong. You can make it less strong. That's totally up to you. It's your call. I hope you found this quick video helpful, and if you did, do give it a thumbs up as it helps out this video and this channel. If you have any questions, make sure to leave them in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss future videos, and I'll be sure to see you in the next one.